It is an honor, sir. Welcome to KDKA, and I hope you're doing okay on this wintry night. Lots to get to. Your initial thoughts of this story that I continue to sound the trumpet, but I wish I had more people following the parade. We've got to get this thing to the finish line. It is essential for all of us, whether we are from Braddock Hills Borough or not. This deal with Nippon Steel is the only hope we have for the future of our namesake, the Steel City. Go ahead, Mayor.
Well, I'm of the position currently that with Chris Kelly and Cletus Lee and some of the other mayors that this is the focal point and the thing that we should push. But I'm anxious to see now that Sam DeMarco is going to be working for Dave McCormick. I want to see what his input's going to be. I think there are lots of people who can still come to the table and help get this settled. And I'm not desperate yet, I guess would be the term that, I mean, it's getting close, and it's, but I talked today to DeWitt Walton, who is on the county council, but also has connections to Mr. McCall at the Steelworkers Union. And DeWitt has been around for a long time here and represents us well. And his assurance to me that McCall is a good guy was something that I needed to hear. I mean, I don't see him in the same stature of I.W. Abel or David McDonald, some of the people who were the steelworkers leaders in the 50s and 60s and 70s. But I think that one of your last callers, I was listening before the news at the bottom of the hour, had it right that the leadership of the unions have the connections with the politicians, but the rank and file aren't necessarily in the same opinion. And I think that we need to have more. We're trying to be their voice right now, but I think we could use all the help we can get.
Man, you're really good at this. You should have maybe made this a career, and I guess you have a bit of a connection to broadcasting, and now I can hear it and see it. Very eloquent there, Mayor.
Well, listen, I grew up with Mr. Hillgrove and Hank Bachman and a bunch of others at WTAE from my junior year of high school in '66 and stayed there until '79. And then I went to New York and was at ABC for 19 years and then at Fox for 5. And came back to Pittsburgh and had no plan of being involved in anything. But I think that by accident, actually, my niece ran for the Borough Council, and we were handing out her literature. And what I didn't know was the other people in the family were telling people to write my name in for mayor, and enough people did that I wound up on the ballot. And now I'm in my 12th year. And but I do think this will be my last. I don't think that it's a lifetime role, so we'll let somebody else take over shortly.
All right. Well, listen, this is why you're an old news guy, too, because you just really hit it out of the park tonight. We've been talking about Sam DeMarco, an at-large GOP Allegheny County councilman, chair of the county's Republican committee since 2019, stepping down from both posts to join Senator Dave McCormick's office. He told the Post-Gazette, Marty Griffin earlier today, and he's going to be Mr. McCormick's Southwestern Pennsylvania Regional Director. And he could be that voice that maybe helps us drive this to the finish line, get Mr. McCormick working for us as well. So, because it doesn't seem like Senator Fetterman is doing much of anything to get this done. Maybe Mr. McCormick will get something done.
Well, I think Mr. Fetterman is like the folks at the White House and others, in that they're talking to the leadership. They're not talking to the rank and file. And I'm a little surprised that John's, given that he lives in Braddock, wouldn't listen to people if he ever stopped in a bar or if he ever stopped in a store, kind of thing. That I thought he would be a little more attuned to what people are saying. But I think there are lots of folks who are coming up. I gave the contact information to Delia Winstead earlier today, so she has your number, Rob. And if I have your permission, I'll give it to Adam Forgey, the mayor of Turtle Creek, and Marcus Adams, the mayor of East Pittsburgh, and some of these other young folks that are out there and ready to take up the cause.
Listen, I've talked to Marcus, but anything you can do, I'm all for it, and I'm in your corner, and I'm so grateful you would join me tonight. Just a couple of more things before I let you go, but to give people an idea, and he made sure I was correct on it, and believe me, when he speaks, I listen. Braddock Hills Borough, of course, North Braddock, we've had Cletus Leon, and Braddock, he was mentioning the mayor as well. The reason that place was such a footprint and so big is because of the steel industry. I think sometimes people lose sight of what your part of this country was at one time, a true behemoth in the world of industry. And I said back in the day when you were thriving in those communities, Grand Street was like Wall Street. People need to remember that and understand who brought us to the dance. It's U.S. Steel, and it's the steel industry, Mayor.
Oh, you're absolutely right. And what I think you're seeing in Chris Kelly and Rob False from Munhall and Cletus and North Braddock and many of these other folks, Rich Latanzi and Clareton. I mean, these guys don't want to see to happen again what has already happened in the 80s. I mean, we're already on a wing and a prayer in some places as it is, and if the steel isn't done and these plants go away, then it's going to be everybody will be up for desertion.
Yep. Listen, I'm going to leave you with this. You and I are at that stage in our life where you got to embrace every single moment. And I don't know about you, but I guess I could answer for you. We don't want to leave this place that is Earth or this incredible life that we both have had and not have an identity for this community that'll be passed on to our children and grandchildren. We all have to fight hard, but especially our generation, Mayor, because we know what good times and bad times are about. And I wouldn't wish the 80s as far as the steel industry on anyone. That was so damn difficult to be a part of, was it not?
Absolutely.
Listen,
and
go ahead.
No, I mean, I'm optimistic in a certain sense because there are younger people in office in nearby towns, but they're ready for bigger roles, whether they go to the county council or go to Congress or whatever. And I think that people like Adam Forgey in Turtle Creek, he's a school teacher by trade, but he's been mayor, and then he took time off, and then he came back and he's mayor again, but he's still a young guy. He has a family, so he has a vested interest. And so many of the others that I named earlier are the same. So I'm optimistic in the sense that this is one of the few times where mayors are working collegially and not trying to tell everybody where the border is, kind of thing.
Well, listen, you all are the only line of defense. You're the only ones who are fighting for working class people in your community, something we're all a part of, past, present, and hopefully the future. So, listen, it would be tough for me to decide where to live, but if I would live in any of these communities, all of you would get my vote. I've been around government, I've been around politics and news for half my life, and I've never seen a cohesive unit like you mayors and what you're doing. And everybody in these communities better understand they're working hard to save your community, and not just those who work there as well. Thank you, Mayor. Enjoy the first part of the new year, and let's continue to fight side by side and hopefully get some good news sooner than later, okay?
Well, as Don Costa and several of the callers said earlier in the previous half hour, you're the one who has been being the Pied Piper, if you will, and getting the people out there and on the air and on the record. And I think it's you and Larry and Marty and so many of the others who are driving this right now. And I'm optimistic because of your involvement that this isn't just going to be something brushed away.
I hope you're right. Mayor Jack Brown of Braddock Hills Borough, thank you, sir, and good night.